Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our marketing webinar on Target Marketing with Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2011. We hope you're having a great first day of summer wherever you are. We've got people from all over this morning, so that's great. And just a quick introduction. Ryan Mullaney, the president here at Assistus, will be doing your webinar today, and he is a he's got quite the experience in CRM. He's been using it for the past 10 years or so, and we are the first Microsoft CRM partners in Canada. And let's see, we've implemented projects for hundreds of companies, anybody from 3 employees up to multinationals. So we've got wonderful experience you guys can draw from. There will be a Q&A period at the end of the webinar, so Ron will be happy to answer any questions you might have. Also, if you do have any questions during our webinar, there is a button on your screen where you can raise your hands, or there is a chat screen where you can ask questions. And I'll be happy to convey your questions to Ryan then. So without further ado, here is Ryan Mullaney. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Stacy. Welcome, everyone. I'm just going to switch over to my little PowerPoint slide that I feel obliged to show before we get into the actual demonstration. And I'd like to thank everybody for attending today. We actually have quite an international crowd this time around. We've got people from England, from Slovakia, from Poland, as well as right here in good old Canada. So today what I'd like to talk about is I want to focus on the target marketing with Microsoft CRM. And what I mean by that is I really, as somebody who's used Microsoft CRM over the years and seen it develop and grow, one of the areas that people really don't seem to understand is how to use Microsoft CRM to develop a marketing program or plan for your company. And what I'd like to do is take you through some simple steps and show you how to set up a simple plan, and from there, so this would be the foundation of a good marketing system. And from there, you can use these tools to actually expand your marketing system, grow it, and manage multiple campaigns. I've seen this system used successfully by hundreds of people all over the world, and it really works well. And the nice thing about it is it all integrates right into CRM, so you're doing everything inside one platform. So first off, the introduction or the agenda. We'll do a quick little blurb on Assistus and who we are and what we do. I'll then introduce you to Microsoft CRM, give you a rundown of the basic marketing process I'm going to follow today. I'll do a demonstration and then a conclusion. And again, as Stacy said, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to answer them. I'd rather have them during the presentation while people are attentive and are focused on what is actually happening versus trying to save it all to the very end. So please, you're not imposing. This is I would rather you ask the questions up front. Okay, Assistus Corporation. I started this company in 1999, and as far as I know, I'm the first Microsoft certified partner in Canada. And that was done in 2003, and I have had nobody challenge me and say, no, we did it earlier. We also implemented the first production version of Microsoft CRM in Canada. We did that on ourselves as an experiment to see if that would work. And then we won a Microsoft Impact Award in 2005. Got a lot of different customers. There's a few of them on our logos here. So Microsoft CRM is a product that was built by Microsoft. They didn't buy it from anyone else. It was released in 2003. Current version is Microsoft CRM 2011, and it does work in Outlook, which is one of the key features of this product. There are multiple version options. You can have a cloud-hosted version that's actually available directly from Microsoft. You can also have a partner-hosted version, and where you would use that is if you have some very specialized functionality where you cannot use the standard cloud offering. And then, of course, there's an on-premise version, which is if you have your own network infrastructure and your own servers, you can also use it on-premise. So Microsoft CRM is really designed for 3 basic functions. It's best for marketing, sales, and customer service. We're going to focus on the marketing element today, and then in a week's time I'm doing a customer service demonstration, and then sometime early in July I'll be doing a sales automation demonstration as well. One of the best things about Microsoft CRM is that it is incredibly customizable, incredibly configurable, and we can do an awful lot with it. You know, it's not just an application that you buy and use. If you need to configure it because you've got, say, a complex sales process, or you have a very specific marketing process, or you want to integrate it to some other system, such as perhaps your website or your accounting package, as an example, Microsoft CRM will accommodate that, and for a very, very reasonable cost. So the next slide. Marketing. So the reason I got involved and really started to focus on marketing with Microsoft CRM is because my company needed it. I had a problem. I needed some consistent marketing. I needed a consistent message to start going out to prospects and current customers, and I just wasn't doing it with the other means I had at my disposal. My other requirements were it had to be very simple to use. I didn't want something that took 6 months to a year to figure out. I wanted something, if I showed somebody how to do a bulk email program, it could be repeated ad infinitum without really needing a whole lot of other input at that point. I wanted something that was measurable, and I wanted something that was efficient. Our marketing team is quite small. It's Stacy and myself, essentially. And I didn't want to have a system with a lot of overhead. The other crucial element for me was I wanted it to be low cost, and I wanted to be able to play around with it. So for me, to allow it to be able to experiment with it, to me that means you need a lot of feedback. Okay, if I send out, say, 10,000 emails, I need to know you know, what my response rate is. If I'm doing a telemarketing campaign, I need to know my information from that. If I'm doing a LinkedIn campaign, I want to know the information from that, you know, for the responses from that as well. And finally, we are a Microsoft partner, so I wanted it to be usable in Outlook, in a web client, so I could use it on the road when I needed to, as well as with mobile devices. So what's my marketing process? Well, it's probably very similar to your marketing process. I start by segmenting my market and identifying target personas. I have to figure out a way to get their attention. Typically that's an email, telephone, some kind of free offer, something along those lines. I need to trigger some interest. I need to have some kind of indication back to me that there are people that are interested in what I'm offering or marketing. Then I need to create some desire, so that's typically some kind of a call to action, and then after that I need to compel that action. Sorry, the create desire, typically I do demonstrations, have conversations, do speaking engagements, that sort of thing. And then of course number 5 is a compel to action, and then we try to repeat that over and over again. So very quickly here, what I want to do is develop a little marketing scenario and do a CRM demonstration. So the marketing scenario that I'm going to use today is I'm going to be a marketing manager for a camera wholesaler. I chose cameras because, you know, most people have a camera now on their phone, and it's a fairly non-threatening environment, and most people know at least a little bit about cameras. We're going to be attending a commercial photography trade show, and my objective for this trade show is to generate qualified leads to professional photographers, or sorry, from professional photographers, as well as equipment vendors. My secondary objective is to develop marketing lists and contact lists that I can market to throughout the year. And my success criteria is I must meet my ROI targets. All right, just give me 1 second here. If you have a question, this would be a great time to answer it as I switch over to the demonstration itself. Otherwise, just give me about 10 seconds and I'll have it switched over. Okay. You should now be seeing my screen. And Stacy, just if you could confirm, can you see my screen fully?
Yep, Ryan. There we go. That's better. We can
Okay.
see your full screen now.
Perfect. Okay, great. So what everybody is looking at right now is a copy or a version of Microsoft Outlook 2010. This is just the standard Outlook 2010 interface. You can see here that I've got my normal inboxes here. I've got my emails. I've got a reading pane. And then in addition to that, there's a couple of differences because I have installed Microsoft CRM for Outlook, which is an executable program that resides entirely within Outlook and uses Outlook components wherever possible. So the way you can tell that is up at the top here. You can see my menu bar. I've got a CRM button, or a CRM menu button, and then from there I have access to a number of different CRM functions that I can focus on, or I can actually operate from within Outlook itself. In addition to that, I can track emails using the track button over here, and this just enables me to very easily manipulate emails and all other Outlook functionality directly from within Outlook. As you can see, it's just Outlook. I'm not using anything that you could call a separate CRM client. Everything works together harmoniously. So for me to say track an email, I can just click on the email, I can click the track button, and now the CRM is actually tracking this email. It's just made a copy of it and placed it in the CRM database and linked it to any relevant email addresses that would be on a record in the CRM database. Of course, it keeps it in Outlook, but if you see here, the little icon has changed. You know, I'm pointing at a normal Outlook email icon. It looks like a little envelope. And then here you can see the CRM icon. It looks more like two people or a headshot of two people standing side by side. That's how I know that this particular email has been tracked in CRM. If I take a look in the reading pane, I can go over here and I can scroll down, and you can see down here, see if I can open this up a little bit for you. It tells me the details as to what's going on with the system within Microsoft CRM. So I'm not actually regarding or linked to any particular record, but it is being tracked and it is being associated to the Ryan Mullaney contact record that's within CRM. And there's a lot of little features and functions like that that you can use within Outlook. Essentially, if you're using Outlook with CRM, anything you do in Outlook can be tracked in CRM, and anything you do in CRM can be tracked in Outlook. So, moving forward now.
Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry, excuse me a minute, Ryan. We do have a question.
Okay.
Here. Greg wants to know, is the track button for non-contact sourced emails, for example, not in the contacts, or is that a change from before?
If I understand the question right, we're trying to track new emails that aren't in the CRM database. Is that correct?
Here, let me unmute Greg.
Okay.
And Greg, there you go, Greg. You should be able to ask your question a little better than I can.
Oh, okay. Anyway. Let me answer that question the way I think it's being asked. So if you get a new email from somebody who is not in the system and you click track, there is a feature which allows you to automatically convert that individual email into either a lead or a contact. The choice is up to you. So yeah, you can deal with emails that are no longer or that are not in the CRM database. It looks like there's some other questions, Stacey. Okay, if we, I'll let Stacey. Okay.
That's just Greg. He said it, I was just going to say, Greg says his question's answered.
Okay, perfect. All right. So moving on here, what I wanted to say is down the left-hand side, you can see that in addition to the normal CRM inbox with all its normal folders, we have below that an area where it says Assist as Demo. Now that is the actual CRM folders, and this is how you navigate into the CRM records that are available to you within Microsoft CRM. So you can see here that we've got a workplace area, the sales area, the marketing function area, a customer service area, a place to do administration called settings, and then there's a resource or help center. And you can see here that I've just gotten a pop-up saying that the marketing demo should be half over by now. That's not entirely true because it gave me a 15-minute warning and I set it to go off at 10:30. But you can see here that this is something simple that I just set up just to show you some of the functionality that's available within CRM. So if I click to my calendar, you can see over here, I just set a little appointment here just to trigger the Outlook pop-up to show everybody how the appointment system is just as integrated to CRM as the as the emails are. So you can see here I just made a simple subject called the marketing demo should be half over by now. I gave it a start time of 10:30 and end time of 11. I gave a warning of 15 minutes, that's why it showed up at 10:15. And then I linked it to a contact record called Brian LeMay, and it's also linked to my own record called Ryan Mullaney. So the really nice thing about Outlook, or about Outlook and CRM working together, is that you can actually do almost everything without even going into the CRM system. So for example, if I want to see what this Brian LeMay record is, I can just click on it. It's going to actually open a CRM record right now, and it shows me that Brian LeMay is a contact in this system, and I can do whatever I want with this now because it's just another record on my screen. So very simple to adopt, very simple to use if your users are already using Outlook. I'll be diving a lot more deeply into records here in just a minute. Okay, so that's kind of the navigation and the introduction to CRM is over with. I know it's at a very high level, but I got a lot to get through, and I don't have a whole lot of time here. Feel free to send a follow-up email or anything if you want some more just general demonstrations of CRM itself. So what I wanted to do now is navigate over to the Workplace folder, and this is actually where, if you are a CRM operator, a lot of people end up living here a lot of the time. You can see here that within the Workplace area, I've got 3 different folders called My Work, Customers, and Scheduling, which are also shown up over here. So it's very easy to navigate. New people don't get lost all that often because they can see here, well, what's my work? Well, we can access, it gives a description of what my work is, what the scheduling folder is, etc., etc. So what I wanted to take a look at there is I want to go into the actual My Work subfolders, and this is where most operators spend most of their time in CRM. And you can see I've got a number of different functions that I can actually access here. Dashboards, activities, imports, duplicate detection, queues, a whole bunch of stuff like that. So the first one I want to look at is activities. And you can see within activities, this is like one of the big features of Microsoft CRM is that it's like a huge to-do list that's integrated with your entire company. So as you process data, as you move through records and that sort of thing, you actually are able to assign different activities to people. They will close them off at different times. It's a very nice manageable system, and it uses workflow to kind of manage all your various business processes that you'll have within a system. So you can see up here that I've got 3 different tabs. I'm going to show my Activities tab first. That's the default tab, and these are all the activities that have been assigned personally to me or to my team. Besides that, I have another, and so let me just go through this a little bit. You can see that I can search on activities. There's a little search bar here. I can also define my activity types down here. I can sort by column headers. Like I say, this is all Outlook. You can do whatever you can do in Outlook. You can do with these particular records as well. So you can see here I've sorted by appointments, campaign activities, emails, faxes, phone calls, etc. So I got a whole bunch of tasks that have been assigned to me. I have a subject. I have a lot of other views here that I can look at. So if I just move the reading pane over just a little bit here, if I can. Anyway, I can scroll at the bottom. That reading pane does move. I quite like it because it's a great preview of a particular record. When I highlight on it, it actually gives me a lot of details. Obviously, I can also open up the actual record to manipulate and do what I want with it as well. Okay, so the other thing that I can look at here is you can see my priorities, my start date, my due dates, and essentially any kind of information you want to place within the system, you can do that. Any other records that you want to see by a column view, you can put those in as well. I've also added a couple of custom tasks. So I wanted to just show you my tasks. So this is just a simple filter that I created by using the little extra tab button over here. If I click on drop down, you can see I can filter by any kind of activity I want. I can then go into sub-activities and look at either system views or my own custom views, which I can create quite easily with this system. And then over here, I just wanted to show you, because this is a marketing demonstration, I wanted to show you some of the campaign responses that I've received from various customers as a result of me sending out outbound marketing impressions. In this case, they're primarily emails and I'm getting back responses in response to my invitations to the trade show that's upcoming as the marketing manager for this photography equipment system. So from there, what I wanted to do now is have a look at one or two of the other items in my work area. So you can see I've got my activities. My imports is for data imports. Duplicate detection is if I'm going to be importing data, or if I'm going to be, say, creating a contact that's already in the system. This gives you the configuration to alert you that this contact's already created. Maybe you don't need to create it twice. There's an area for queues as well, and queues are just a team work or a team group. What am I trying to say there? It's a team area that you can assign work to. So you might have one queue for your sales team that they can take leads from marketing and assign to salespeople. You might have another one for your customer service folks, so that as they were reporting issues, they can go, or as your customers are reporting issues, they can go in and pick the next item off the top of the queue. That becomes important because later on we will be assigning leads to queues, and we need to show that within the system. Okay, so there's a sample of a queue called unassigned leads, and I've got 41 unassigned leads within the system right now. Okay, so the most important area, or the one that's most interesting to look at, is probably the dashboards area. What this is a dynamic system of graphically, it's a graphical system that allows you or enables you to take a look at pretty much any kind of data within CRM. So you can see here that we've got, in this case, I've got a marketing dashboard, but it also comes with a bunch of others. So you can see there's a customer service dashboard. There's quite a few of those. There's also just a general CRM overview. There's a sales activity dashboard. And in addition to that, you can create as many of your own custom dashboards on a per-user basis as you need to. So this one is a marketing dashboard, and you can see I've got my marketing type mix. So we're taking a look at how many different types of campaigns I'm running in the year. So I've got 2 event campaigns, I've got 1 advertising campaign, 2 campaigns categorized as other, and so on. Over here you can see we've got a campaign budget versus actual costs, so I can actually track my budgets on a per campaign basis by quarter in this case, but again, these are all very configurable, so you can do it by campaign, by quarter, by year, whatever works for your work environment. Down here you can see my leads by source campaign. So I've got a product launch campaign that's created 1 lead. I've got a customer loyalty program that's created 3. My photography show thus far has created 3 leads, and so on and so on. And then finally, there's revenue generated by campaign. Now I want to stress that these are just the ones that are defaulting out of the box. You can create as many of these dashboards as you want, and you can create them on any type of data that is within CRM. If I scroll down here a little bit, you can see I've also thrown in my activities. As I tend to live in these dashboards, I wanted all my activities here so I could see them very quickly. And then below that, I wanted a quick way to navigate to the various campaigns that we're going to be working on. So, for example, I can click on the Giant Photography Show, which is the trade show campaign that I'll be demonstrating today, and you can see it just launches the record for the Giant Photography Show. So that's campaigns and a dashboard and how you actually manage the system on a day-to-day basis. What I'm going to go into now is I wanted to talk a little bit about market segmentation and using marketing lists, or you might know them as mailing lists, so that we can show how we can segment a market into a lot of different aspects and really tighten down and just focus on the marketing message we're trying to get out today. Okay.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi.
Sorry, excuse me just a second. We do have one more question.
Okay.
We have someone who wants to know, is the tasks list via Outlook available with Dynamics 4.0, or is it only in 2011?
There is a tasks list in 4.0. It doesn't have the same functionality. For example, all those tabs are not available, but you can set up views that give you pretty much the same functionality. Okay, to do that, you'd go into your advanced find area, you would create the query you wanted, which would result in the view you want, and then once you save that, that will actually show up as a view for those particular record types, in this case activities. Okay, all right, so pushing on, What I'm showing you now are the marketing lists, and within the marketing list, what I have done, and this is just something that I've come up with over the years as a means to help me market to various segments. I'm using these marketing lists as containers to hold either lead records or contact records. They have to be separate. It's one of the functions of Microsoft CRM, and you'll find it typically doesn't matter because with leads you're typically sending a different message than you are to contacts. So if we take a look at our business decision maker, you can see that I've got a marketing list set up. I've got 7 of them here, and what I'm trying to do is break them down by different purposes. So in my case, what I do is I break all my contacts and leads down into 3 main types. I have functions, which are things like, operations managers, business decision makers, sales and marketing people, that sort of thing. I also have product interest. So if I've got somebody contacting me specifically for one of my products, in my case either CRM or SharePoint or something like that, then I typically link them to that particular marketing list. And then my third one is if I have some kind of a vertical that I want to track. So if I'm focusing a lot of my messaging, say, on the construction industry, then I will put them into that vertical. Now the nice thing is that leads can belong to multiple marketing lists. So what I end up with very often, and I'll just open one of these up here and show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to open up this marketing list, and I'm going to click on marketing list members. And the idea here is that I will always categorize my leads and contacts by these various marketing lists that they belong to. So in this case, you can see that I have got this, that Scott Bishop is interested in, he's in the health and imaging vertical. He's also in the commercial photographer's video. If I know that he is also, say, a business decision maker, then I will open up the existing marketing list, and I will go down here, and I will add him to one of these other marketing lists. So in this case, I want to add him to, let's see here, I want to add him to my active marketing lists, and I'm going to just assume that he's a retail purchaser. And I click OK, and now you can see I've got 3 different marketing lists associated with Scott, and I'm starting to not only qualify him, but categorize him into various functions. And these marketing lists can follow your leads and your contacts throughout the life cycle, during their entire purchase cycle, and then afterwards when they're a customer of yours. The reason I really like to do this is because it really allows me to use a contact list that I have or any mailing list that I might have and not burn out that list by sending a lot of messages out that aren't on target for these particular marketing lists. The other thing I wanted to point out here is that you actually have 2 different types of marketing lists available to you. I have a dynamic list and a static list. The dynamic list is a list that will automatically populate itself every time you use it because you set up and define a query for it. So I'm opening up my dynamic list here, and you can see I've called it Business Decision Maker. And if I click on Manage Members, what it will allow me to do is actually run a query and create a brand new list prior to every time I use this list to, say, generate an email activity or something like that. So in this case, I've just created a very simple query where I've just said, okay, the job title contains terms like president, vice president, owner, CEO. Obviously, if this was a production system, it'd probably be a little more sophisticated than this, and we'd add other job titles and perhaps some roles and things like that as well. But the really important thing to take away from this is that this isn't a static list of members. Every time you use this marketing list to generate a bulk email campaign, or every time you use this marketing list to do a telemarketing campaign, it automatically triggers the query and gives you a brand new list of individuals. So you can see in this case, it just generated the query one more time, and here's all of the leads that I have that meet that criteria. Now these will be used and assigned automatically to my bulk mailing system that I'm about to show you. Okay, so if I take a look here, what I want to do now is move right into the marketing campaigns. So I'm going to click over here, and you see what I'm just navigating into marketing and then down into the campaign. From here, I'm going to open up one campaign. So this is a list of all the marketing campaigns that I am currently managing. some of the interesting features here is, one, obviously we've got the name, but two, every one of these campaigns can also be set up as a template. So if you're doing a recurring trade show on an annual basis, you can actually save this campaign as a template, and then the next time you run it, it'll be there with all your activities and all your items from the previous campaign already in place, so that as you're doing lessons learned and you're improving your campaigns based upon what you learned from the previous campaign, you can add that information to this system. So
Hi,
this is,
Brian.
yes.
Oh, sorry. I do have a quick question. We have a question about the marketing lists, and we want to know, can the lists be merged into Word for print ad campaigns and letters, or just for email marketing?
Oh, Microsoft CRM, I always say email because that's the one I tend to live in the most, but my apologies. The campaign I'm about to show you will actually run any kind of print campaign. So you can use it to generate letters, you can use it to generate faxes, it can do emails, and you can also set it up to assign phone call activities to a call center, so it will actually generate telephone activities, and you can track all that as part of this marketing campaign. Give me about 3 more minutes and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So the campaign itself, just very quickly, you can see I've got my ribbon toolbar across the top. For those of you who haven't seen this yet, this is Microsoft's new user interface. The idea behind it is that it's context sensitive. So you can see where I have highlighted here within my, within my navigation pane. At the top, these tools are what are available to me to influence the data and that you see over here. If I jump this over to, say, planning activities, the toolbar is going to change a little bit, well actually a lot in this case, so you can see now I've got a toolbar that helps me manipulate my planning activities. The next thing I have is down the left-hand side, these are all the components that are used in a campaign. So you can see I've got my different areas on the form that I can jump to, so that's the same as scrolling over here, and you can see, so for example, there's financials there, there's my campaign financials there. So if I jump down to administration, there's the administration area, and these are all collapsible if you want to just have a compact form. All right, so I can just close that off. And then you can see here, if I even minimize that, you can see I actually have a form where everything is hidden, and I can jump to the various areas that I need to. The next thing I want to show you here is the campaign financials. If you are tasked with tracking not only campaigns, but the cost of those campaigns and their subsequent ROI, you can track that in a fairly straightforward manner here, right within the campaign itself. So you can see here that within the financials, I've got total cost of campaign activities. I haven't shown you the campaign activities yet. That'll be the next step. But I show you, here's my budget that's been allocated to me. Here's some miscellaneous costs. So things that aren't actually trackable within the campaign can also be added. Things such as, say, I had to rent a trade show booth or something along those lines. I can also plug in an estimated revenue here if I so choose. And then down here, it's given me a total cost of campaign. So what I want to do now is, because this is a new campaign, I want to just have a look at my planning activities. And you can see here's some of the items that I need to do either to set up the campaign or that are actually part of my outbound invitations for the campaign. Now, as I said a minute ago, you have a template, this system can be set up as a template. So if you go through, say, a fairly complicated planning process for your trade shows that you want to repeat over and over again, what you can do is, for every item that you have to do to set up or prepare for a trade show, you can actually set that as a campaign activity here. So in this case, I've got one called Develop Content. All right, so review website changes and brochures. But you can put whatever kind of instructions you need to in here. You can also assign this to different people, set due dates, trigger workflows. There's a lot of items that you can do with this system. And then, like I said, you could actually save this as a campaign template. So here you would copy as a template, and then when you're done working on the campaign's done, and you've done all your follow-ups and you want to close it out, you can actually add any lessons learned. Let's say that you forgot to bring, I don't know, extra power bars to the trade show. Well, you can add that as a planning activity. Make sure you have all the equipment you need for your trade show. Like, the last one I went to, I realized that I didn't bring any water with me, and after talking all day, there wasn't much left of my voice. So that's now standard on my production campaign templates for events. The next thing I want to touch on is campaign activities. So a campaign activity, this is where we actually can create a series of activities for outbound contacts to our prospects, leads, and contacts. So in this case, I've created one called a trade show invitation. So this allows you to harness the power of Microsoft Office if you want to or if you need to, and create, say, a sophisticated mail merge with an HTML image included. Whoever asked about can this be used for letters and other items, all you have to do is create a campaign activity and then go in here and select the type of campaign activity you actually want to process. So you can see here, by default, we've got phone activities, appointment activities, letter via mail merge, which in which case uses Microsoft Office Word. We can do outbound faxes by mail merge, emails, and this is also completely configurable, just like every other field within CRM. So if you have others that you want to add to this, you can do so. So I don't know, door knocking campaign maybe, or something else. You can add all these items to it. You can see here that my status reason right now is set to proposed because I haven't actually launched this particular campaign activity yet. And then the type, you can set this to whatever categories you want because, again, it's completely customizable. But in this case, by default, I'm just going to select what Microsoft has set up here and call it a content distribution. Down here, you can see that I've got a little offer that I've put together. Then I've got my, who owns the record, what we've scheduled as a start date, a scheduled end date, the budget allocated. In this case, I mean, I know email is fairly low cost, but I did want to put some fancy graphics on here, so I did engage a graphic artist to put this email together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to launch this particular campaign activity, and to do that I click the Distribute the Campaign Activity button. And what this will do is actually launch. It's going to offer to have me select either a blank document or an organization mail merge template or a personal mail merge template. In this case, I'm going to leave it as a blank document because I'm just going to do a copy and paste of a simple little HTML image I have. The other nice thing about this is that when we actually launch this, this just starts your typical or your very straightforward Word mail merge process. So if you've ever used Word mail merge, it's exactly the same as within your system. Now I'm going to turn off almost all of these, and I'm just going to set it so that it sends the email to me so I don't plug up my system with a bunch of emails that don't go anywhere. So now if I click OK, you can see here that I've got a Word document. It's just any other Microsoft Word document. However, it does have links to the CRM database. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select use the current document, and then I'm going to click next to write my email message. And all I'm going to do and put in something very simple here, I'm just going to add a greeting line. And you can see again, if you've ever used Microsoft Word mail merge, this is exactly the same process. So in this case, I don't want to use something quite as formal as Mr. Randall. I just want to use a first name because these are all contacts that I've worked with before. So I'm going to click OK, and you can see that it's now set the greeting line. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy and paste a little image that I have right here. And in this case, I've just grabbed a document that I could access through the demo server, and I'm just going to throw this on. But the point I'm trying to make here is that you can just take a simple item like an image. So let's say you wanted to do an HTML image in a very nice invitation to, say, a trade show. You can do that with the system, and it's just a simple copy and paste mechanism to do so. Okay? So now all we have to do, now we've got our template, we've got our greeting line. Now all I have to do is actually proof it by previewing my email message. And you can see here that since it's just going to me and I've just asked for a first name, it says Dear Ryan. Now we can access any data field we want in CRM and put that in here. So this is good not just for outbound emails for marketing purposes, but we've actually set this up and used it for people to send out product lists, to current customers. Here's all your product lists, warranty expiry notifications, sales proposal cover letters. It all can be done from a template, using this Word mail merge system. So my next point is I'm going to complete the merge. Here you can see I can do a couple of things. I can either just launch it with electronic mail, or I can actually upload this template right back into CRM. So if this were a raw template that I was working on, I can actually save it right into CRM as a new template that other users can use over and over again from this point forward. It works equally well whether you're uploading a raw template, like a new template, or if you're actually amending a current template. You can save either, as a new version of the current template, or you can save it as an entirely new template. In this case, I'm just going to send it by email. So I'm going to select the electronic mail link. I'm going to put in a subject line of trade show invitation. Hopefully I spelled that close to right. I'm just going to send it to myself, so I'm going to click OK. The next thing that's going to come up is it's going to ask me, do I want to track this activity and make a copy of, in this case, an email, and link it to my lead or my contact record that I'm sending it to. So in this case, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to click yes, I want to do that. I also want to include an unsubscribe link in the email message. Microsoft CRM is clever enough to, if you add the unsubscribe link and then have it, and one of your prospects clicks on it, then it will, and launches the, the email going back to the CRM. The CRM is actually smart enough to adjust all the record types within the system to prevent that particular individual from getting marketing information or emails in the future. And it does that automatically. So you can see I've got activities to track this mail merge were successfully created in Dynamics CRM. So I'll click OK, and that's it. The email has been sent. So I'm going to close that. Oops, I don't want to save it. I just want to close it. And we'll close out of that. And that's how you do a campaign activity. The same process can be used for telemarketing, and it can be. We could have done a much simpler email template, but I wanted to show you, given that you have a marketing interest, I wanted to show you how to make a fairly elegant email in a very simple fashion. Okay, so the next item that we have here, if I actually open up this this particular activity one more time, what I'm going to do is it's now going to show me the details or the results of me sending this particular email. So you can see here that the navigation form has changed because this campaign activity has now been distributed. So I can click on email messages created, and it will show me trade show invitation, who it's from, who it's to, what it's regarding, like the linking record, and so on and so forth. So it's it's telling me that it's been sent. No issues there. If there had been any failures, they would be listed here. And a failure in a bulk email situation is typically due to a record not having a correct email address or not having any kind of an email address in that particular field. Or the other reason is that, of course, the addressee has requested to not have bulk emails sent to them in this fashion. Okay, the next item that we can do with a campaign is a campaign response. So what this is a response from a customer from one of our bulk emails or telephone activities or something like that. But this is an indication of the response. If Microsoft, if you're using bulk emails within Microsoft CRM, this can actually be generated automatically, so you can have an entire list of these things. So in this case, I'm just going to open one of these up and show you invitation to a trade show. So this is something that I have from a current customer named Adrian Dumitrascu, who has indicated that they are going to go to this particular trade show. You can see that it tracks the originating activity, and if I open that up, you can see that this was a previous bulk email that I sent that gives me some details as to what is, or actually I should say it gives me a copy of the email that was sent to this individual.
Hi, Brian.
Hi.
Hi, excuse me. One more question here.
Good.
We have a question. They want to know, does the from field in the emails default to the CRM user that's logged in?
That's a good question. You can set the from field to be from the CRM user that's logged in, or you can use you can assign the record to the owner of the you can assign the email from field to the owner of the record. So in some cases, you don't want to be sending out emails to your contact list and having them coming from, say, marketing at XYZ.com company. You want them to come from whoever established the relationship in the first place. So you can actually do a lot of sort of keep warm marketing and have the emails appear as though they're coming from the sales rep or whoever else owns that particular contact record.
Okay, and it can be sent though via a generic organizational name if you want it to.
Yes, it can.
Okay, great.
I didn't actually set that in the demo, but yes, that can be done for sure.
Wonderful, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so I've got my invitation. In this case, it's a current customer. That's why none of these fields are filled in. What can we do with this? Well, the campaign response does a couple things. One of the things is it gives us an indication of the interest that we're getting on this particular campaign. So we can go to the dashboard and we can set up a chart that shows us interest on a particular campaign. The other nice thing that we can do with this, of course, is we can convert a campaign response. So this is how we may qualify a lead a campaign response and convert it into a new lead. So in this case, that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new lead, and I'm just going to click OK. And what this does now is this basically takes it out of the realm of marketing and puts it into the realm of the sales organization. Obviously, it's flexible, and you can, if you want to qualify the lead as a marketing lead to start with, you're more than able to do that as well. So you can see all I've done is I've created a simple lead. And I'm just, now I can put some information in if I want to. At this point, it's just a straightforward sales lead. The nice thing is, though, is that it's all being tracked by the campaign itself. So I'm going to close this lead because I will come back to leads in just a minute here. But I want to go back and show you the results of doing these processing at a campaign level for, in terms of what we can get out of the CRM for a campaign performance report. So I'm going to open up this campaign performance report here, and it's a really nice report. I quite like it. What it does is it allows us to see the details of the campaign, and it's in a presentable enough format that you can print these off and present them as part of your weekly sales meetings that you likely have. So in this case, I just want to run you through this quickly. You can see that I've got a campaign name, a giant photography show, what my code is, what the status is. Predicted start time, planned end time, actual start time, whether I'm ahead or behind in my actual campaign. Then down here you can see the the target marketing list that I'm using, the target products that I'm producing or promoting in this particular campaign, any sales literature that's associated to this particular campaign. If I had related campaigns, they'd be showing up here. What the status of my planning tasks are, so I've got one completed and one not. And if I actually click on the graphic here, you can see that this particular, I actually get the details of my planning task. And then from there I can actually click on it again and it'll open up that particular planning task. If I keep going, here's a summary of my campaign activities and what their status is. So I've done 2 trade show invitations, outbound email via mail merge, and I'm planning on doing a follow-up, but that's still in the proposed status. A little further down, you can see here's a summary of my campaign responses. So I've got I've targeted 2 people. I've got 3 responses back. I've had a response rate that's pretty exceptional and probably means I'm going to keep my job as a marketer for a while. And my cost per response is $1,450, so I might need to work on that a little bit. Some other breakdowns. Here's my response code. So right now I'm at 100% interested, but my response codes are things like, don't call us again, somewhat interested, send literature, that sort of thing. And here's a breakdown of my response channel. So not specified as 2 because I've created those manually, and I didn't set that particular drop-down feature. And then 1 is email that was created automatically. And then down here you can see this is an actual results graph of this particular campaign. So I can actually break down my total actual costs, what my budget was, what my estimated opportunity revenue was, which is just a field you fill in the finance area of the campaign, and then my actual opportunity revenue. And then it even goes so far as to extend out to the value of placed orders. So if you have a marketing and sales process that can adapt to this, or that follows a function of where marketing generates leads and passes them to sales, and sales manages opportunities, and so on and so forth, this is a very, very effective report to manage and figure out what your marketing ROI is. It's quite powerful.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi.
One more question. is there a limitation on the number of emails that can be sent per month?
There's no limitation from within CRM. However, if you are generating them directly within CRM and you're not using, say, a third-party bulk email provider, if you get much above 500 emails a day, there's a good chance you're going to get blacklisted and all your email contacts are going to be cut off. This is to prevent spam and spammers, flooding the internet. Most people by now have experienced their company being blacklisted at least once. Microsoft CRM does have a throttling feature that basically keeps you right around that threshold, and it just limits how many emails can be sent out on a daily basis. If you're planning on doing more than 500 emails a day, then I would suggest that you use a third-party system that will integrate right into CRM, and it's just basically a different route for your emails to take. But those bulk email providers are actually registered as such with the the internet governing bodies, and they do not get blacklisted. So if you're at the point where you're pushing 500 or more emails a day, then we'd need to examine whether you need to be on a third-party system. Other than that, it just uses your regular emails.
Okay, thanks, Ryan.
Yep. Okay, so that's campaigns in a nutshell. A couple of other items that we have on the side here. As you can see, you saw from the report that I showed you what target products I'm promoting in this particular campaign. So you can see there's the list of the products. What sales literature I have available is also here as a list. What target marketing lists I'm using. Any related campaigns, if you're using a master campaign and say some geographic sub-campaigns or something like that, you can manage that from within this system. And then the other item I wanted to show you was, we'll be jumping into leads here in just a second. I wanted to show you how you can use Microsoft CRM to actually create an internet landing page that you can then publish either to your own site or just have it link and let Microsoft worry about hosting it. This only works. Before I move on, though, I'm going to leave the campaign area and get into some lead management now. So if there's any other questions, this would be a great time to ask, specifically to do with campaigns. And if not, I'll press on. So what I wanted to show you now is there's a number of ways that you can manage leads from within this system. I did show you sort of a cursory example of taking a campaign response and converting it into a lead, and then I went back and showed the rest of how the campaign performance report responds to that by counting those leads. What I want to do now is get a little more into lead management, and the first type I want to show you is the internet lead capture form. Microsoft CRM in the online version only will allow you or will enable you to create up to 10 landing pages. So if you have an information request form on your website right now, or if you need some kind of landing pages for different offers or opportunities, say it's you're using, say, Google AdWords or the Bing equivalent, you can set these up as your landing pages, and you can create very simple forms very quickly right within the CRM interface. So I'll show you a very simple example of a credit application form. So if I click on the credit app, and then in this case I'm just going to preview it, but you can see here that here's the form, and this form took me all of about maybe 5 minutes to put together. And you can see that it's a credit form, financial services, company name, last name, and those are the two mandatory fields, and then there's a couple of other fields here as well. What this form will do when it's filled in is it will actually allow you to create, or the simple fact or the simple process of creating the form and clicking the submit button creates a lead within CRM that you can actually then take and assign to a sales rep, associate with a campaign. There's a lot of functionality that you can use with this. And the really nice thing is that Microsoft will either host it on their Azure platform at no cost, or you can take the code, and it's just a simple sort of a copy and paste function, and you can plug it right into your own website. Some other means of managing leads. If we take a look here, one of the things I wanted to show you is that I had a pop-up a little while ago. So now I'm going to be a telemarketer or a lead qualification specialist, and I'm going to actually qualify a lead. And let's have a look here. You can see that I've got a lead called Wendy Kahn, call Wendy and run the lead qualification process dialog. And I'm going to show you how to do all that and navigate and do everything from within Outlook. So I'm going to open this up. And then you can see here that I've got this task. It's an Outlook task saying steps. Open the lead form and click on Start Dialog ribbon button and select Lead Qualification Process Dialog and click OK. So down here I've got my link for this particular lead, and I'm just going to click on it. And you can see it just opens up the lead form. Now we're actually using a Microsoft CRM record, but I didn't have to navigate anywhere, although I can, obviously. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, well, actually, let me show you this lead. So we've got a lead. It's mailed an interest card back for product B, which is a particular SKU. It's given me some details. Now, this would normally come from a campaign response and would be assigned to me as the marketing lead qualification expert, and I would be able to use it as a lead initiation form. So what I'm going to do is follow these instructions that were part of this task, and this is all automatically generated by workflow, by the way. And I'm going to click on the Start Dialog button, and I'm going to click on the Lead Qualification Process dialog. And what this is going to do is it's going to open up a form that I can then just essentially fill out by calling this particular lead and making sure that this is a qualification before I pass this on to a sales rep. So in this case, you can see my lead has a few items missing from it. I do have an email, and I do have a first and last name and a job title, but I don't have business phone, home phone, etc., etc. And down here you can see that I do have a lead score. So what I'm going to do is put in a couple of different numbers and just fill in some aspects of this form. Just bear with me for a second here. And I'll put in a website. And you can see this form is allowing me to fill in items. There's a spot to put tips. There's a spot to click on comments. You know, there's a lot of items that we can do here.
Hey, Ryan.
Yeah.
Just a quick question. So can we use a CRM contact form on a WordPress site and populate the CRM automatically?
Yes, absolutely. That's how we do it. Our site is a WordPress site, and yeah, it's a pretty simple matter. Like I said before, you can either have it hosted by Microsoft on their own cloud platform called Azure, or you can just copy and paste the code fragments, plug it right into your own system, and then it'll actually route and manage everything right to your CRM. Okay, so I think I'm going to add a couple more items here. See, what else can I add? I'll add, oh, that should be enough. Okay, so what I've done here is I've got this questionnaire. So the way I like to stress this or show this questionnaire is that you can have literally dozens of these dialog forms, and they can all be associated with particular records. So let's say instead of just having the one simple dialog form that I have, I could actually have, say, a half dozen of these, and we could do different qualification processes based upon what's actually, you know, what kind of a lead this is. I can do the same thing with contact records. I can do the same thing with sales opportunity records. You can set up these dialogues anywhere you want. So they basically become like a process or a procedures manual that, you know, your line or your field reps can actually follow along and utilize, and they don't have to have a whole lot of training behind them in terms of what their processes are and how to manipulate the entire system. We can keep it very, very simple for people. So what I've done is I've closed off the lead qualification process, and now I'm going to click Finish. And what this is actually going to do is update this record, and it's going to do it using workflow. So what it'll do in a minute here, hopefully I gave it enough time to do it, but it's going to start populating some of the other fields within this record. So you can see here that before that business phone number wasn't there, and now it is. Before the mobile phone number wasn't there, and now it is. It's also adjusted the lead score. So for whatever reason, with the logic that's in that particular lead score qualification, it's decided to downgrade this lead. So I don't have it set to 50 to actually assign it to sales, which is what I'd like to do. So basically it's telling me this isn't ready to be sent to a sales rep for further processing. So it basically goes back into the keep warm pool as a lead. And remember, because I categorize everything by marketing lists, I can have targeted messages for my particular lead in this case. So I know this person's a commercial photographer, for instance. So I'll throw them on that marketing list. And we don't even have to burn any sales rep times because this particular lead was not qualified. And then I can just save and close this. And now it's gone back basically into the marketing pool, and my marketing folks will spend, as long as it takes to continue to bump this person up and follow along on our particular marketing process. The important point here is that I did the entire thing within Outlook, and I really didn't even have to show anybody anything in terms of how to use the CRM. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to show you actually was converting leads to an opportunity. So I'm going to open up a different lead, and I'm just going to grab one here that's been assigned to me within this demo system. And let's take a look here. And you see my lead score is 40. I've got a little more information here. It's not in too bad a shape. Other things I can do, of course, is I can link other activities to it. So you can see here that there's the activity that I used before, call and run the lead qualification process dialog. So I can, I could go through that same process once again. In this case, though, let me show you some of these others here. So we've got closed activities. So if there were any closed activities, say somebody's already tried to call Jane, that would be listed here as a closed phone call. Connections are typically individuals or companies that have an influence on this particular lead but aren't in either Jane's organization or our organization. So think of a third party such as maybe legal counsel or a technical rep for a utility company or a communications rep for a communications company, something like that. We can also associate documents to the system. You can see here that it's going to ask me to add a SharePoint location because that's the default, is to integrate everything to SharePoint. We can see the marketing lists, and then down here you can see any workflows that have been fired for this particular lead. So in this case we've fired the lead routing workflow, and we've fired the lead scoring workflow a few times. These workflows are intended to be created or developed by individual users. And you can see here that they are basically in English. So we can say initialize score, update the lead, check the address. If it contains a street address and zip postal code, increase the score by 15, and so on and so forth. So it's very, very simple, and these workflows can be applied to any kind of record that you want. To convert a lead to an opportunity, and this is where marketing in the case of Microsoft CRM typically stops. Let's assume that our telephone qualifier has decided to qualify this lead based upon the score. We click qualify, and we mark it as a qualified lead, and we can actually create not just the opportunity, but we can also create the account and the contact, or if it's a current customer, then we can actually put in the potential customer here, and we don't have to, recreate all those items. So I'm going to assume this is with a photography store, and I want to open these records. I can also disqualify this lead if it's timed out or it's no longer relevant. If I click OK, you'll see that the lead itself closes off, and then an opportunity is created. Now all the key records and all the key activities and information are passed from the lead to the opportunity. So any records or activities that we've created in the lead will now be associated with this opportunity. If this opportunity came from a campaign as a campaign response, then any activities that we do here in terms of quoting and ordering will be associated to this performance report that I showed you earlier. So at this point, typically what happens is this now gets associated or assigned to a sales queue, or a sales manager, or a sales rep, depending on the size and sophistication of your sales process. So what I mean by that is I mentioned at the beginning of the demo that we have queues. So this is where your queues would go. So in this case, I'm going to jump back into queues just for a second and just kind of validate what I'm talking about here. And you can see here that I'm going to just select unassigned leads and all items. And you can see I've got all my queues. My queue unassigned records are all here. Okay, so let's go back to the dashboard just for a second. And you can see that within the dashboard, we've had a few updates. We've had a little bit more revenue added to the Giant Photography Show. We've had one more lead associated to the Giant Photography Show. So you can see that you're getting your data and your dashboards back in real time. So if you're managing a marketing team, this is a godsend. For the first time ever in most marketers' experiences, you'll be able to track all the activities and all the effort you need in order to run a successful marketing system. Okay, so I'm going to flip back over to the PowerPoint presentation now. If there's any other questions, please feel free to ask them. Okay, so in conclusion, the Microsoft Marketing Module, I believe, is one of the best kept secrets of the product. It's a very handy way to do a simple marketing process. There's lots of third-party applications that will do things like track click rates. If you send out emails and you want to know how many people open the email, that's a click through or an open. There are third-party applications that do that. There's third-party applications that plug directly into CRM that manage bulk emails. There's a lot of different things that you can do with marketing. So as a basic marketing system, a lot of my clients struggle with marketing and just have never done it, and they don't know where to start. This is a nice, simple system that you can start with, that you can build up and make into a very sophisticated system as you need to. It is included in the base price of any version of Microsoft CRM. It does align with standard marketing methodologies if you're using them. It's very flexible. You can use this to manage pretty much any kind of campaign, be it event-based, say vertical ads in vertical magazines, telephone marketing. It'll do an awful lot of things for you. It's customizable so that the terminology can be converted to use your terminology within your organization, and it does work within the Outlook or the web client, and you can also access it with a mobile device. Okay, so for anybody who's lasted this long in this particular demonstration, I'm going to give you all an offer. I would be happy to provide 4 additional hours of consultation if you commit to purchasing any of our automation packages by June 30th. All right, so this is a $800 value, and we can use it for analysis, design, or training, and it's in addition to all the analysis time that you would get for these action plans. So what have we got for action plans? We've got a foundation plan, so that's a base CRM setup. If you already have CRM set up and you just want to focus on marketing or sales or customer service, then these are the other plans that we have available to you. So within the foundation action plan, it's basically designed to set you up and get your users trained to just use CRM as a contact management system and as a light CRM system. It has exactly the same functionality. I mean, there is only one CRM set of functionalities. There's not different modules that you have to buy. So you get a fully implemented CRM. We will migrate your account and contact information. We will make sure it's integrated with Outlook. We will do field masking, so say for telephone phone numbers in your respective geography. So if you need the brackets around the area code or a +1, if you're using a European phone system, we will do that. We will make sure it's integrated with SharePoint. We will do basic mobile device integration, and we will also provide full user and administrator training. We have a marketing action plan, which basically will take you through everything that I've shown you today and will be set up and configured for your company, including full training. We also have a sales action plan, which will build a multi-stage sales process for you, which can be, say, you've got a contact stage with your opportunity, a requirements gathering stage, a proof, proposal, and negotiation stages. We'll set those up for you with automated reminders and other items that you need to process a sales process. We can do a sales pipeline report, sales user training. We'll make sure that there's training on the account executive dashboard and any customizations that are needed there. We will also develop a product catalog and do training for you there, and we'll show you how to order or to manage your quotes, orders, and invoices within CRM. And then finally, we have a service plan. If you have a heavy customer service element to your organization, you may want to have a look at this. It enables or allows you to manage contracts, so things like warranties and projects, your service case management, billing and invoicing, service activity scheduling, queues, project setup workflow, and a service manager dashboard. Okay, that's the pitch over with. Any final questions before we wrap up?
It doesn't look like we have anything so far.
Okay.
We can keep the lines open for you for a little while yet if you think of anything other than that. Back
Okay.
to you, Ryan.
Okay, well, I'd like to thank you all for attending. I hope you got something out of this. I know it's rushed, but quite frankly, the process itself for marketing is quite straightforward. Once you've done it once or twice, it's not nearly as intimidating as it may have looked on the screen today. If you do have any other questions, my email's on the screen, or feel free to give me a call, and I'd be very happy to answer any additional questions you might have. Or we can talk about either one of these action plans that I showed you a minute ago, or if you have some other requirements for CRM, I'd be happy to talk about that and see what we can do to help you there. Otherwise, thank you very much for attending. I do apologize for going over by 10 minutes, so I'm going to wrap up quickly here and say thanks, and let's break this down. Any last chance for final questions? If not, we're going to shut her down.
All right, I think just one last comment.
Okay.
If you did want to give us a call, we do have a 1-800 number, toll-free. It's 1-888-313-9398.
Maybe say that one more time as people are reaching for a pen.
Absolutely. Our toll-free number for Assistus is 1-888-313-9398.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much. Any questions, you know where to send an email to. Otherwise, take care and have a fabulous day.